And Simon. Andy's not as tall as Tom.
Andy さんは Tom さんほど差が高いです。差が高くないです。背が高くないです。
Yes. 背が高くないです。Good. Excellent. And him is the most tall of all compared to Constantina.
I have Kim さんの方がコンスタンティナさんより一番背が高いです。
Oh, good. 一番背が高いです。Cool. And I think as for, are we now intruding on other? No, we're not, are we? As for basketball, USA is the most skillful compared to Liechtenstein.
バスケットはUSA wacht hè.
Amerika.
Amerika?
No.
I'm not sure. Amerikaの方がLiechtensteinより一番上手です。Is it? Okay.
Yeah, this is good. This is, I mean, in these last two sentences, we're giving a little bit of stress towards saying they're the most skillful. So we're adding this ichiban jozu desu, etc., etc. With these comparators, we don't necessarily need to say ichiban because
I wasn't sure. I just put it in brackets.
Yeah,
so good. Can we just say jozu desu without the ichiban? It's implied. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want to give some extra oomph to it, then this is fine. It's like saying America is the best, better than Liechtenstein. Yeah. Okay, good. And this one here?
Yeah, this I did it in two ways. In one I used the okane, and in the other I used the Piotr, you have more money than me. And in the other I just used the yutaka or something, an adjective. I don't know if that's correct for rich.
Yutaka? Oh, I don't know.
Richer, rich.
That sounds like a nut adjective, isn't it?
I don't know. I can do both just because I wasn't sure about the
Yutaka.
Yotaka or yutaka?
Yotaka.
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 Well, yutaka. This is here, but okay.
Ambulatory evening vendor of noodles. Is that what you meant?
What? No, yutaka.
Oh, yutaka, sorry.
Wealthy, abundant, rich. I don't know, like.
Oh, okay. Wealthy, plentiful, rich.
Did you use okanemochi as well?
Okanemochi is what most people use.
I didn't remember that. The okanemochi, I didn't remember that. But okay, I can use that as well. Okay, so I did one. Piotr-san wa watashi, sorry, Piotr-san no hou ga watashi yori motto okane ga motte imasu or something.
Okay, so the first way to do this kind of okanemochi is
okay, then okanemochi desu.
Yeah. Or
yutaka desu.
So I think yutaka means not the same kind of rich. I think it means abundant.
Okay.
So you could say okane ga yutaka desu, but then it's really, really long sentence. Whereas what most people would say is either okanemochi desu, or how would you say simply he has more money? Okane.
私よりお金。Isn't it like I was just going to do like moteimasu, like to have money, but that's not.
So previously we've never used moteimasu to mean I have something. What verb do we use to say I have a mobile phone? I have
arimasu.
Arimasu.
Yeah.
So you'd say
お金があります。
Yeah, お金があります。
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Good. Okay, good. Jock. Chinese is harder to read than Japanese.
中国語は日本語より yomizurai desu.
Yomizurai desu. It's a bad time to turn up, Wayne, isn't it? When you to say this just as you arrive. Wayne's going to disagree with you now. And did you do this one as well, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rammstein.
Yeah, Rammstein. I think it's Rammstein, though, isn't it? Is that the right spelling?
Yeah, that's correct.
It is.
Rammstein,
Anyway,
yeah.
ga bach yori. Kiki yasuku arimasen.
So as we've got not as easy, this is going to be a negative. We don't use yori,
So
but
I must use hodo.
Hodo.
Yeah, hodo. Kiki yasuku nai.
Yeah, yasukunai desu ne. Now, I think we've stolen yours, haven't we, Sophie? Have we? You're muted, Sophie. Can't hear you.
But I
Okay.
had only the half sentence. So thank you, George.
That's all right. I'm going to give you a different one, Sophie. Hang on. Today is warmer than yesterday.
Okay. So what?
Or
So that's easy. Warmer actually.
one more time.
Warmer. So it's a chewy.
Not atsui. Atsui is hotter, meaning unpleasant. Sophie, you have two extremes when you're talking on Zoom. Either you're extremely loud and everybody's eardrums burst, or we can't hear you at all. Today is we can't hear you at all.
Okay. Tatakai. So
Atatakai.
Tatakai, warmer. Atatakai.
Yeah, but we've got to compare it to yesterday.
Yesterday. No.
Kino. Sophie, you're talking so quietly that Zoom can't detect you. It thinks it's just a mouse.
It's warmer than yesterday. Kyo wa kino no?
No. What's our comparator?
Warmer. Yori.
Yori.
Atatakai.
Yeah. Atatakai.
Desu.
Yes. Okay, good. And what about let's do Wayne is smarter than Andy.
Wayne-san. Smarter than Andy. Has to do something with atama. I don't remember how.
Good. Yeah. You'd say his head is good. No laughing, guys. His head is good.
Atama ga ii.
Yeah, that's fine. But I want the whole sentence though.
Okay, so Wayne-san wa auntie-san smarter. So Yori. Atama.
Yep.
Ii desu.
Ii desu. That's good. Good. Well done. And Wayne. Train is more convenient than the horse.
Densha wa uma yori beli desu.
Good. Yes. And what about but the train is not as fun as the horse.
でも、電車は馬より
So as this is going to be a negative, we don't
Ah,
use
okay.
yori, but
ほど
hodo. Good.
面白いくない
Good. Omoshirokunai.
面白くないです。
Yes. Excellent. Well done. Good. Okay. Excellent. First division done. Well done, guys. Any questions about comparators? Cool. Let's look at last week's lesson briefly, and we'll do a quick revision of that. Oh yeah, it was something fun, wasn't it? Well, not really fun. Not like, I don't know, shooting teenagers, but here we go. So we've done different timings. We've done toki, doji ni, nagara, and today we're going to look at aida ni, between. So this is a very useful timing expression because it's a little bit more versatile than the other expressions of timing. And it works both for spatial locations. For example, Portugal to France no aida ni Spain ga arimasu. Between Portugal and France, there is Spain. And it works for time as well. So to compare this to other timing references, nagara is used to mean doing two verbs at once, and usually, in fact, it's a kind of rule that the subjects have to be the same. So I can say, I am eating an orange while cutting my toenails, but I can't say I am eating an orange while Jock is sawing somebody's head off. You can't really say this. So the way to construct this is we make often, because we're talking about a duration, we'll use the present continuous tense. We don't always have to. If it's a process which clearly is going to take some time in the future, then you can use the plain form. For example, while going to London, I will read this book. So you can say London ni iku aida ni kono hon o yomimasu. But if we're reporting about something in the past especially, then we'll usually use te iru, the present continuous tense. We can't really use the past plain form. We have to use either the present continuous tense or the present tense. And then plus aida ni means during that, doing that verb. During doing that verb. So let me just reiterate this. We can use the present future tense, like iku, taberu, nomu, to talk about something we're going to do in the future. But if we're talking about the past, if we're reporting on the past, then we should use the present continuous tense. Let's do some comparisons of the different types of timing reference. So if we're doing, there's some sort of verb te iru, and this verb has a start and an end. If we use toki, then it refers to some single moment in time during that verb. So some very short moment in time, not a long duration. If we're using nagara, then it suggests that by the same subject, we're doing two actions that more or less start and finish at the same time. It could be that one of them starts slightly after and finishes slightly before, but more or less they're done simultaneously. However, te iru aida ni also means during this verb, but we can use this to mean both a single moment in time during that that process or a duration. Both are applicable, and we're not limited to having the same subject as well. Any questions, guys?
with the doji ni,
Yeah.
is any more close to the aida ni, the doji ni, because the subjects cannot be the same, okay? It could be not be the same, I mean. And they both meaning, well, I did that, this happened.
Yeah, so they are very similar, except the idani means basically between something. So between doing this verb. So the verb it's referring to is usually of some significant duration, whereas the dorjini, both of the events are kind of instantaneous. They're moments in time. So, I mean, they're not actually instant. They might take a little bit of time, like a few seconds. But the one that I always use to think of when I think about dorjini is the one about at the moment I got onto the train, the doors closed. Now, jumping onto the train and the doors closing both take more than 1 second. But as far as we're concerned, they're instantaneous moments in time. I don't think about the doors closing by going boo slowly and then finally closing. I think of this moment, the doors closing. At least in this sentence, it's suggesting that there was a snap moment of me jumping on the train and a snap moment of the doors closing. So this is where dorjini means like this. Yeah, that's the main difference, Konstantina, between those two. Otherwise, they're pretty much used the same. Piotr.
So does the aidani in this case, when used with verb, does it refer to in between the beginning and the end of that verb being
exactly
action being performed?
Exactly this. Yeah. So it does really require the verb it's referring to taking some duration of time. It's not just like an instantaneous moment. There's a clear start, there's a clear end.
But then the second one can be either any duration of time, either the entire thing or instantaneous somewhere in between.
Exactly this. Yeah, like this.
Thank you.
So it gives you a little bit more flexibility, but then it might make you think, well, why not use aidani all the time? Well, actually, it's used quite a lot. It's a very sophisticated, a very versatile time reference, but it doesn't give you the same stresses that the other time references give you. So, for example, the nagara is meant to, the regulation about it, about nagara, is there for a purpose. You're using it to emphasize it's you doing both things, like you're multitasking. You're doing both things at the same time, and they are being done simultaneously. So that's why we use, when we want to use nagara, it's because we want to say, I'm doing this and I'm doing this at the same time. If we use, what was the other one? Te iru toki, if we're using toki, then we just want to point to a moment in time of doing something. Just say, at this moment, during this thing. Maybe shigoto suru toki, when I'm working. But it's just kind of pointing at a moment in that time. It's not very specific. When we say dojini, then we're stressing that two things happened at the same time. They're probably going to be two different things, and they're both going to be just instantaneous moments. So we use these to emphasize those particular factors. That's how we give our sentence some kind of context and some kind of implied meaning without actually writing out all of the meanings. So, for example, we don't need to necessarily use the word suddenly when we use dojini, because we're only talking about single moments in time. The dojini implies some kind of suddenness or some kind of shortness of moment. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Piotr,
sorry, I'm still not quite clear on the use of toki, because you're saying on the one hand it's describing an action you're doing over time, and for example, shigoto suru toki ni, or toki, so while working.
Yep.
On the other hand, you're also saying it's a moment in time, it's one point.
So what I mean is it can really mean, so if I say shigoto shiteru toki, then this isn't saying, it's not implying sorry, it's not, I shouldn't say it means, but it's not implying necessarily that it's for the whole time that you're working. And it's not necessarily implying that it's even just one moment in time. It just points and says, at this time, something happened. So it could have been at the beginning. It might have been at the end. It might have been the whole ring. It's really non-specific.
So how is the difference from the Aidani?
So talking,
also, that's also maybe a point, maybe the entire duration. Somewhere it's not specifying when.
Right. So yeah, right. This actually comes at one of the examples. When you say toki, it implies that you know when it happened. You're saying, when I was working, this happened. Whereas Aidani provides some vagueness, where it just says between A and B, some point during that moment, this happened, but I don't know when. It was some point between them.
So the difference is the specificity of the exact moment or time it was at.
Exactly. So we'll have an example coming up in the exercise, which was, while drinking coffee, my wallet was stolen. Now, if you use toki, this implies that you pretty much know when it happened. You're saying almost like, not only when I was drinking the coffee, suddenly my wallet was stolen. It's like I knew that moment it happened. Whereas if you say kohi o nonderu aidani, then it says at some point during that time that I was drinking coffee, my wallet was stolen, but I don't know when.
So if you would watch the video of the theft back, you could change from aidani to toki.
Exactly, yeah. And then you might say, use toki to be more specific and say exactly when the car drove past, at that moment, my wallet was stolen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Makes it a lot clearer.
Any other questions, guys?
Could you tell us once more how toki is different to dojini?
Sure. So toki we can just use to mean when something happened, and it can be used to reference either a very single moment, or it can be pointing at a duration of doing something. Dojini, however, means basically two events happened at the same time, and those events are going to be short periods, almost instantaneous. Like I screamed when the car exploded. These are, of course, a car explosion might take 2 seconds, me screaming might take 5 seconds, but these are referred to as moments in time. Exactly, yeah. It's like an instantaneous, at the same time, bang, something happened.
Thank you.
Okay. So actually there are, this is used ad nauseum in the Seitei EI manual. So it sometimes says nagara and it sometimes says doji ni. And the way that I think the authors, although it looks like each kata was written by a different person because the Japanese they use is slightly different. I think what this is supposed to mean is that anytime we have nagara, it suggests that you're supposed to synchronize two things that are going to take a period of time, and they should more or less start, you should be kind of multitasking. Whereas when they use doji ni, it means push two short periods to be as closely coordinated as possible. Treat them as kind of instantaneous events rather than durations of doing something. We looked at this last night, didn't we, Piotr?
Indeed.
So we have an example here from number 9. Let's see.
It was about the setting the foot, turning, moving back, and then cutting.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is the last step of number 9. So you stepped right foot, left foot, and now on the right foot, it says fumidashita migi ashi o jiku ni shite teki ni muki naori nagara hidari ashi o hiku to doji ni joutai o hidari ni hiraite teki no migi kata kara hidari kata wakibara made kesa ni nukiuchi suru. So it's just to translate this very roughly. The right foot that you put forward, use as a pivot, and then it uses nagara. While turning to face the opponent, pull the left foot back. So this is meant to mean that you are not exactly stretching the moment too long, but you should start turning and start moving the left foot back at the same time. So they more or less finish at the same time. So your turn and your left foot movement should be kind of synchronized. And then it says, do those two pair of actions, those multitasking actions, to doji ni jotai o hidari ni hiraite. And then while this is going on, sometime in that time, your body should open to the left. So you should turn your upper body to the left. Doji ni, what was it now? Doji ni hiraite.
How is it while if we have todoji ni? It's just, it would be simultaneous, right? Right.
So this means that you've got to take these pair of processes that are going on, and the doji ni now means that this relatively short action has to happen at some point in that process. So we've got two things that take some time, and then the opening the body to the left needs to happen somewhere in that time. So as it says doji ni, it's not saying do all three as a kind of drawn out process, but the opening the body to the left should happen maybe here, maybe here. It doesn't actually specify. It just says todoji ni. It happens at some point during that process. And then it finishes with te. So it's saying, once that's finished, now we have a comma, hiraite, so open the body to the left. And then teki no hidari kataguchi kara hidari wakibara made kesa ni nukiuchi suru. So it means do this and then cut the opponent from the shoulder joints through to the wakibara. So we've got three kinds of timing there. The sequential timing by saying verb, te, verb. The nagara timing, doing two durations at the same time. And doji ni, within those two durations, do this during that moment. In this, or it could be they just ran out of words and they just kept adding. They can't say nagara nagara, so they put doji ni instead of nagara nagara.
So could it be that the todoji ni and then hiraite and kite, could that be that the first turn then cut is the entire part of the todoji ni, or is the todoji ni really only the referring to the hiraite, and the te is then closing the entire previous part to then say and then cut?
You're thinking of parentheses, aren't you? And parentheses within parentheses. It's impossible to tell from the text, to be honest. It could imply this, but usually it would be a little bit more obvious that you are creating parentheses or in parentheses to do that. You might even end up with a full stop and then restart the sentence and saying, while this is going on, also do this too. Yeah. So I think if you have a te, then that really means stop. And now it's the next thing. Yeah, it's a kind of sequential mark. I think the te is much more significant timing marker in the sentence than all the doji ni and nagara. Yeah, that's the round brackets.
Yeah.
Anyway, so let's have a look at an example. While I was making dinner, Jenny was brushing her teeth. Watashi ga ban gohan o sukutte iru aida ni Jenny ga ha o migakimashita. Really easy example. This happens to be a duration process. Doesn't need to be. You could say Jenny ga kabin o otoshimashita. Jenny dropped a vase while I was cooking dinner. It could be an instantaneous moment, or it could be something that takes some time. Any questions, guys, before we go on for some exercises? Okay, planking, 10 minutes. Let's do this.
It was a joke, Piotr.
He's putting on his Speedos. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got at least 10 there. Good. Okay. Let's start in the center. Simon. While I was watching television, Shoji's sister was making dinner.
テレビを見ている、間に、庄司の、お姉さん
So if it's his older sister, this would be Oneer-san. If it's his younger sister, it's Imoto-san.
Right.
You can decide.
So it's not specified, right?
No,
okay.
correct. Exactly.
Okay. So let's use 庄司のお姉さんが、晩ご飯を was making 作っていました。
Very good. 作っていました。Well done. Effie, it rained while Thomas studied French. Oh, sorry guys, what I should also mention here is during this exercise, there could be examples where it's best not to use irony and to use a different reference instead. So you can decide which one to use.
And you say the pure luck before my... I was going to ask because like Aidani would not go here actually, so because it's not the same. It's not like the same subject.
Right. So we can't use nagara, but can we use Aidani?
But then we say the Aidani is also like no, we can use that. Actually.
Let's so it's a good point to go through this then. So can we use nagara?
No.
No. And why not?
Because we need the same subject. It's not the same subject.
Right, good. Can we use doji ni?
I don't know.
Anybody help?
Because I don't know any. I don't remember like restrictions or something. It's like.
I would say no.
Okay, Tobias, and why not? Why not, Tobias?
Because it's a simultaneous action. It's a short duration.
Yeah, so it's a short duration.
Okay.
So actually, these are long durations, aren't they? That's the reason why we wouldn't usually use dojini.
But we can use toki.
Toki, okay. And can we use aidani?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you decide.
Okay. So let's do the aidani just to train it. So, Thomas. Wait. How can we say, like while Thomas studied French? So Thomas フランス語を勉強している間に。
さんがフランス語を勉強
Do we use or?
France go benkyō? Yeah, we should. So the or is missing from between benkyō and shite. I put it here instead.
Okay.
Yeah.
So France go benkyō shite imasu間にしている間に。
Yeah, good. Yeah, leave it in the
plain form. 雨が降っていました。
が降っていました。Yeah, good. いました。Or you could say furimashita. This is also fine for this.
Okay.
Yeah, both are fine. Both are fine.
So we use the plain form with the idea.
Yes. Yeah. Generally, if we make a time reference, then drop that into the plain form.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Job. While I was cleaning. はい、どうぞ。
今は会社に行かなければなりません。
そうですか。はい。気をつけてください。またね。
またね。
気をつけて。 Jock.
台所台所がにでもか
Well, I mean, you could
choose.
if you're using, it's going to be difficult here, isn't it? If you're saying I'm actually not cleaning in the kitchen, but I'm cleaning the kitchen, then you should probably use or.
掃除する間に
So this is going to be in the past tense, isn't it? So it's not soji suru, but soji
した
in the present continuous tense.
している
Yeah,
している
Yeah.
時に
Toki.
時に手紙が
Tegami ga.
届きました
Yeah, todokimashita. Exactly. Yes. Now I ignored your toki ni and I only wrote toki. Do you remember why I didn't say toki ni?
No.
It's really a kind of emphasis. So if I said let's do this the other way around. Let's use this example. If I do and I put toki ni, if I now translate this back, then this would read as follows. It was while I was cleaning the kitchen that a letter arrived. So you can see it slightly changes the stress of the sentence by saying toki ni. It points the attention towards the time at which it was happening, rather than what the emphasis of this sentence is, the original sentence is, that a letter arrived. Not that relevant towards the cleaning of the kitchen. It was just the fact that a letter arrived. That's the main emphasis here. But here it's saying it was while I was cleaning the kitchen that a letter arrived. Yeah, that's why we took out toki. That's why we took out ni.
健康の結果 健康の
Yeah, Keko is correct. Kenko no. So sorry, I mean it's something else.
No, oh gosh.
Begins with K.
Yes.
Can anybody help?
Kensa.
Kensa. That's it. Good.
Kensa.
And then results.
No kekka.
I think.
Deshita.
Deshita. Yes, good. Excellent. Well done.
Kenko no kensa no kekka.
Kenko no kensa no kekka deshita. 苦しかったね。Okay. Sophie, while I was driving to the hospital, the children were playing noisily in the back. I told them to shut up.
Hospital. 病院に
Yeah.
Driving. 運転している
Good.
間に
Good.
子供 behind 後ろ
Let's mark them. Ushiro.
子供が後ろに 涼しく
So one more time.
涼しく They were playing noisily.
What can you tell me the adverb again? I can't quite hear it because it's a different one to the one I would use, but it doesn't mean it's incorrect.
No, noisily. I don't remember noisily.
Didn't you just say a verb? Say an adjective?
I think she said sozoshiku.
Suzushiku? Coolly?
Sozoshiku.
This means coolly. So, Sophie, I would use urusai as the adjective, and then turn this into an adverb.
Right. Irisiku?
Urusaku.
Koko. So, asonde imashita.
Very good. Asonde imashita. And then I told them to shut up.
I don't know that.
Okay, so
how to say that?
To shut up, the verb is damaru, damaru. And if you want to turn this into a command, how would you express this?
So the damare.
Damare, good. Damare. And then I told them, or I said.
Iteimashita.
Oh yeah, or just imashita. Imashita is also good. Yeah. Cool, good. Wayne. The dentist was fixing my teeth while I slept. When I woke up, I could not feel my mouth.
Nete.
Sorry, can you just give me a second? What was this one? Sozoshi. Thank you. Arigatou nasuka. Sozoshi. This was urus instead of urusai. Let me write this in here. Sozoshi. Okay. Okay, Wayne.
Nete. Yep. Nete iru.
Good.
間に it is 歯医者
Yeah, 歯医者
歯医者が
So just for clarity, we usually say 歯医者さん for doctors and dentists.
歯医者さん
Yeah. 歯医者さんが
私の
What's teeth?
歯を
Yep.
直して
Yes.
いました。
Very good. Excellent. And then when I woke up, I could not feel my mouth.
目が覚めた
覚めた
小口 or the 口
Kuchi.
口
Yeah. So here we need a time reference. So this is a really good kind of time to think, okay, can I say irony at this moment? When I woke up, I could not feel my mouth.
No, better to use toki.
Toki would be better, wouldn't it? Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. In 感じられない。
And in the past tense?
感じられ、
This bit's good so far. Just the past negative.
Yeah.
Come on, Wayne, this is the easiest part of the sentence. You've done the hard part.
I usually screw out the easiest part. I don't know why.
Who can help? Who can help, Wayne?
Yeah,
of course.
Good. Okay. Excellent. Good. Yeah. So you can see here, you know, when you think, well, maybe we can use toki the same time as we use idani, but we can't use idani for a past tense here, like after I have woken up. We can't say sameta idani. We have to say sameta toki, because there is no idani in the past tense. There's no duration. It's completed. It's the moment has passed. So we have to use toki in this case. Can't use doji either, really. Cool. Back to David. I listened to the radio while I was practicing shodo. This way I can completely relax while I draw. Excuse me.
Oh, that's a long one.
Thank you. Hey there, master.
Oh dear. Listen to the radio. I was practicing shodo. It wasn't Keiko, was it? It was Renshu.
Renshu, yeah.
Shodo no Renshu shite iru aida ni.
Yep.
Radio o listen, kikimashita.
Okay, so this is good, David, but do you think there's a better time reference to use in this one? To emphasize the simultaneity of doing two things at once.
Shite to doji ni.
This is two instantaneous moments.
Shinagara.
Shinagara, yeah. Shinagara.
Radio o kikimashita.
Radio o kikimashita. This is good. With shinagara, this avoids us having to put things into the present continuous tense. We can just leave this in the mass form. Renshu shinagara, and this also doesn't need to be in the present continuous tense either to describe a duration, which we'd normally have to do for durations in the past. We can just use nagara, and it says this is a duration and this is a duration. It's a very efficient way of saying I was doing two things at the same time. Okay, and then?
This way, I can completely... Oh dear.
So this bit here, this way, this is going to be another...
Oh, that's going to be a yoni.
Yoni, yes.
Kono yoni.
Yes, good. Kono yoni.
I can completely relax when I draw. Kaku toki. Completely. Yukuri.
Good. Yeah. Yukuri.
I don't remember what relax is now.
So we can use things like ochitsukimasu, ochitsukemas. We'll put this into the. Or we can also use rirakusu.
Rirakusu dekimasu.
Dekimasu. Good. Yeah. Good. Exactly. Well done.
Question.
Prego.
Why we use the toki? Because you are listening to the music the whole time you're doing the shodo. So it's not like you listen to the music at this moment and then you continue doing shodo. I wouldn't have used toki in this.
You mean on the second sentence here?
Yes.
Kono yoni kaku toki yukuri. So it's because basically this isn't an active verb. This is a potential verb. It's not like you're kind of making yourself relax. You're just saying that when I'm drawing, maybe I can relax. I can start to relax at some point, but it's mostly because it's not really. David's not doing two things. He's drawing, and then something happens while he's drawing, which is he becomes relaxed.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't be wrong if I would continue using aidani or.
Not at all. I mean, actually, for this one, aidani would be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just that nagara would be weird. That's
I would. I don't know. Aidani I would have used.
Yeah, aidani would be fine. Kono yoni kaiteru aida ni ochitsukimasu. Yeah, you can use aidani.
I will hang up here. Maybe
Sure.
I'll join audio if I catch up on you guys from the train.
No problem.
So bye from here.
See you later. Ciao, ciao. Kiyosuke ne. That was David. Naska, are you still there? Have you fallen off your chair? There you are. During the thunderstorm, the door was slammed shut by the wind.
Oh, I had.
You had this one? How about this one? While I was attending university, my younger brother was learning how to walk.
universe.
うん
大学を参加している間に、弟が歩き方を習っていました。
歩き方。
歩き方を
はい、どうぞ。
習っていました。
習っていました。Well done. Really good. Very smooth. Tobe, if I don't drink tea while teaching Japanese, then I get thirsty.
I've had this as
Have you?
well. Yeah.
I bet this thunderstorm. Schniffle, schniffle.
Ah, right. Let's see. Okay, so Ryu ga shiteru? No?
So for nouns,
yeah,
which is basically the thunderstorm, we can just treat this as we normally treat nouns. Rather than putting shiteiru, think about how we treated matsuri and jiko. We treated them as events themselves.
Yeah. So they happen. So Rayugan. I'm not sure about this. I'm a little bit lost. But
okay. So rather than saying Rayu shiteiru either, because this suggests that the thunderstorm is doing something, you could just do Rayu no toki or Rayu no aida ni. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So yeah, right. Okay, so Rayu no aida ni doa ga kase ni
good, yeah.
Shimesaserimasu.
Okay, so you could use this. That's causative. You could use that, but then you need to change the particles.
Okay.
But if you want to make the passive, it's not shimesasemasu, but
shimeraremasu.
Yes, good.
Shimeraremashita.
Very good. Well done. Toga kaze ni shimeraremashita. So here's the kind of contrast here. If I turn this into Rayu no toki, then this suggests that you actually heard it happen. You know it happened during the thunderstorm. You were kind of there as a witness. But aida ni just means it happened at some point during the thunderstorm. You don't know where. You don't know when. It could be you do know, but it's not implied this way. Okay. Piotr, if I don't drink tea while teaching Japanese, then I get thirsty.
Nihongo o oshiete iru. I would actually use nagara here.
Okay.
So oshie nagara.
Good.
Cha o.
All tea is honourable.
Ocha o nomimasen? Nondeimasen? No, wait. If I don't drink, no. Could we use the ba here? Then simply nomenakereba?
Not nomenakereba, but
nomanakereba.
Nomanakereba. Nakereba.
Oh God, my throat gets dry.
Constantine is helping, by the way. She's going like this to sort of say.
No, I know.
This is your throat. Oh, is that what it is? All this time I'm wondering what this thing is underneath my chin.
Andy's anatomy corner, yes.
Don't blame me. This is Constantina's
right?
club. One more time?
Node?
Nodo.
Nodo.
Yeah.
Nodo ga Jesus.
Jizashimashita. Jizashimashita. So this will be a new example homemade verb that we use in future. when you can't remember a word and it's right on the tip of your tongue, you say jizashimasu.
Kawaku. I get thirsty. Kawakimasu?
Yeah, kawakimasu. Exactly this. Kawakimasu.
Question about one of the earlier sentences. You use yukkuri, but that's slowly or at your own pace, right? Not completely.
Yeah.
Is
Sure.
that sakari? Sakuri?
Sakuri. It might be. I've never heard it. I would usually use kanzenni, but if you're doing something like allowing something to happen, like allowing yourself to relax, then yukkuri is quite good.
Okay.
To mean kind of slowly and steadily, I can relax.
Sorry, it's sukkari, by the way.
Sukkari.
If you look up completely, it's the second one. I thought it might be the one you meant because it's so similar, but apparently not.
Completely. Yeah, this looks good as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Grazie. Konstalinka. While I was driving into London, I saw a horse.
I don't remember if I did that, but I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah, I think you did actually.
It was something about the horse and
yeah. While I was eating a horse, so I saw a car or something. Okay.
In Italy, they're eating the horse. I know. We have so many animals. Why the horse? Why? And the donkey as well.
Yeah. It's a macho thing. It's a macho burro thing. Okay, how about this one instead? While I was drinking coffee, my wallet was stolen. I had to call the police.
Okay. Kohio. Let's start with the start. And kohio nonde aidani. Nonde iru aidani. Sorry. Yeah. Nonde aidani. Watashi no saifu ni, if I say it with a passive, was stolen.
Ni is used to mock the agency who does the stealing, though.
Okay, ga, allora. Ga. Oh, fuck. It's now, what's the stolen? Steal, to steal.
It's
Nusumu. Miraremashita.
One more time. It's nusumu is the plain form. So the passive is
Nusumararemashita.
Just one re.
Okay. I was thinking putting too many. Nusumaremashita. Police.
Keisatsu.
Keisatsu. Yobinakereba narimasen.
Not yobi, but your.
Yobanakereba narimasen desta.
Very good.
We have to find a different way to say all this.
Yobana chakatta. Yobanakcha narankatta. Yobanakcha narankatta.
So much easier.
Isn't it? Sounds like Polish, actually, doesn't it? It's like too many consonants.
We don't need vowels.
H is not a vowel, Piotr.
Well, you expire, so of course it's a vowel.
Okay, good. Jock, while you were shopping, could you go to the post office and buy me some stamps, please?
Oh, kaimono.
Sorry, in a second, I need to delete some stuff. Sorry, can you just give me a second? I need to take some stuff out. Hey, guys.
すみません。行かなければなりません。
あ、どうぞありがとうございます。またね。
お疲れ様でした。また
お疲れ様
ね
でし。た。Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing. No, there we go. Okay, we're up again.
買い物をしている時
Okay, so to be honest, Jock, I think as it's a future point here, you have all the flexibility that you just expressed by saying lots of different ones. All of them would be good. So suru aidani, I'm going to put these in into little brackets to show that we can use them all. Suru aidani and shite iru aidani and shite iru or suru toki and shite iru toki are all possible.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
What's the rest of the sentence? 郵便局に行って切手を買ってくれない。
Sorry, I'm going to have to delete small space thing in a second.
郵便局に行って切手を買ってくれます。買ってくれてください。
So that's please, please. So you can either say kurimasu ka or you can say kurimasen ka or kudasaimasu ka, kudasai. Yeah. Sounds like a Beatles song.
Oh, very, 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 very polite.
これいただけませんでしょうか？
切手させていただけないか。
Piotr, どうぞ。
Yeah, you just deleted the other three, but what are the? Is there any difference? I mean, apart from the Toki and Aidani specifying, I know you're first going shopping and then going to the office, so I know exactly when it's going to happen, or anytime. Difference between Suru and Shiteru?
Not really, no. Suru Aidani, Shiteru Aidani. For future tense, it makes no difference. You can use shiteru or suru almost interchangeably. It's just in the past you can only use shiteiru. Yeah.
While you were doing that.
Yeah. And then Sophie, don't put your elbow on the table while you are eating.
Tabete iru aidani. Ichi.
Yep.
Ichi wo on the table. Teberuni. Kakenai yo.
Kakenai. Good. Nice. I like it. Good. Excellent. And Wayne, I'll give you an extra one. Oh, I think we've lost the horse one. So while I was driving to London, I saw a horse. You already had one with the horse, though, didn't you? Didn't you do this one before?
No, but my last one had horse in it as well.
It did, didn't it? Yeah. What was the last one with horse then? Oh, you did the dentist one, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Was there a horse in the dentist? I don't remember.
Hippopotamus.
Okay, as you're a horse specialist, Wayne, you can do this one.
런던이 원텐스테이드.
Yep.
아이다니.
Good.
우마 미마시다.
Oh, mimashita. Very good. Excellent. Very good. Okay.
You could use Toki here, right? Because you know exactly when you saw it.
Yep. In fact, Toki feels better here.
Better?
Yeah, I'm not sure why. It just does. Because I think it's because toki points to this moment in time that it happens, and it's very specific. Whereas Aidani kind of means sometime during.
Yeah, but maybe he was drifting off behind the wheel, and he doesn't know exactly when he saw it, but he knows he saw it.
I mean, it doesn't say kuruma or untenshiteru. He might have been riding a horse when he saw a horse. So he might have been drifting behind the reins rather than behind the wheel.
I mean,
maybe I'm driving the carriage.
It's getting very complicated now, guys.
Okay,
but sorry,
with the knee, sorry to interrupt. With the knee, toki ni or simply with toki?
Toki. Yeah, good. Toki. Good. Okay, let's read through these guys quickly, because we haven't even started the new subject yet. In fact, let's just do a few of these. Let's do the bottom. Let's start from here. 大学を参加している間に弟が歩き方を習っていました。
大学を参加している間に弟が歩き方を習っていました。
コーヒーを飲んでいる間に私の財布が盗まれました。警察を呼ばなければなりませんでした。
コーヒーを飲んでいる間に私の財布が盗まれました。警察を呼ばなければなりませんでした。
買い物をする間に郵便局に行って切手を買ってくれますか？
買い物をする間に
郵便局に行って切手を買ってくれますか？
Guys, can you now grab a handkerchief and just wipe your screens clean of saliva? 食べてる間に肘をテーブルにかけないよ。
食べている間に
肘をテーブルにかけないよ。
ロンドンに運転してるとき、馬を見ました。
ロンドンに
運転しているとき、馬を見ました。
Okay, good. Right, the next exercise we're doing, today's new, it's not really new, it's just more vocabulary really, is in respect to the fact that some people in this group can't count in Japanese, so we're going to practice counting. I don't think it was you, Constantine, I think it was Kim, actually, which surprised me because on Sunday he counts during our practice and then he just kind of forgets how to do it when we come to doing Japanese. So let's go to here. Do that next time. Okay, so for me, the difficulty is that whereas in English, to a certain degree, we add a different word when in units of 1,000. So we go like, I know 100 is kind of an exception, but we go 1,000, 1 million, 1 billion. Each time we're adding 3 zeros to the end. But in Japanese, it's not quite that way. So for tens, we have ju. For hundreds, we have hyaku or byaku. Thousands, we have sen or zen, depending on the thing. 10,000 is a man, it's pretty easy, it's no change. 100 million is oku, and 1,000 billion, or I think that's an English billion actually, is a cho. Did you know that there's a difference between billions between England and America?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Mm.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right, David. What most of the world call a trillion, we call traditionally we used to call a billion, but I think we've now adopted the American system.
And every other language still uses milliard and then billion.
Million and then billion.
Milliard.
And when you say cho?
Sure, it's 1
million. 100.
No, it's a million. It's an American billion. Sorry, it's a trillion rather. It's an English billion, an American trillion.
So if you want to be pedantic, hyaku can also be pyaku for ropyaku.
Yes, it can. Yeah. Yes, let's go. Let's count. Shouldn't take too long. Let's start. We're going to do units. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600 to 1,000, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. And then we'll stop there when we get to man, because man is easy. Okay, so let's, if you can unmute yourselves, please. Come on, Naska. Join in the fun. Okay.
Nice smiley face.
Okay, here we go. Ready? Ich,
ni,
ni, san,
shi, yon, go, roku, shichi, hachi, kyu, ju.
Okay, now let's go into 20, 30, 40, 50. Niju,
sanju, yonju, goju, rokuju,
nanaju, hachiju, kyuju, hyaku. Okay, so so you know already, I expect, that there are some alternative pronunciations of certain numbers. So 4, for example, is sometimes pronounced shi, especially if we're talking about April, we say shigatsu. There's no yongatsu. If you said yongatsu, you'd be perfectly understood, but shigatsu is the right way. But then this doesn't extend to normal counting. Most of the time we say yon, go, roku, shichi. Shichiju, you'd be understood. Most people say nanaju. But if we're saying 7 o'clock, there's no nanaji, it's shichiji. Just to put your teeth to the test. Shichiji. And then Q, and then for 9, we have ku and q. If it's September, it's kugatsu. We use ku. But for everywhere else, we usually use q instead of ku. So let's go into hyakus then, into 100s. So hyaku, sorry, sanbyaku, yonbyaku, gohyaku, ropyaku, nanahyaku, hapyaku, kyuhyaku, sen. Okay, let's do the thousands. Sen, nisen, sanzen, yonsen, gosen, roksen, nanasen, hachi, hassen. Oh yeah, thank you. Hassen, kyusen, man. Yeah, ichiman. Good. Pyeongtong, dozo.
So, why is it san zen and yon sen?
Nie wiem.
But it is sanbyaku and yonbyaku.
Nie wiem. I have no idea.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
It's honbyaku or not?
Yonhyaku.
Yonhyaku.
Yonpyaku.
You said yonbyaku.
Yonhyaku. Hyaku desho? Ne, hyaku. Yeah. I don't know why. Piotr.
Probably because the yon is the alternate reading.
Could be. Who knows? I expect if you go to a different part of Japan, they might actually pronounce it differently.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah.
Turtles as currency.
Okay. Right. So, guys, just make a little note if you could, please. If we're making a number which consists of a 10 at the beginning, a 100, or 1,000 at the beginning, then we just say either ju, hyaku, or sen. We don't say ichi-ju or ichi-hyaku or ichi-sen. Just put these as they are. But for man and oku, we put ichi before it if it's 10,000 or 100 million. We say ichi oku or ichi man. Okay. When we're doing, I didn't put it in here because I didn't really have time. But when we're doing maths, for example, come on. The easiest way to make a maths kind of statement is to say x, which is a number, of course. Y is a number. Wa, result. Yes. So, for example, if I wanted to say 1 + 2 = 3, I would usually say ichi tasu ni wa san desu. Let me write it down. Ichi tasu, let's write it in Japanese. Ichi tasu ni wa san desu.
Just looking at the kanji, tasu is step.
Mm-hmm. Yep. This is pull.
Yep.
This is hang. And this is split.
Subawari.
Sorry, what is that? Sorry,
It's not
yep.
wakeru. Oh, sorry.
That was my mistake. I don't know. I think you can use wakaru as well, actually.
Because I remember we said it a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, we can use wakaru as well. Sorry, wakaru.
What was the meaning of kakeru?
Hang.
Hang?
Like,
No, hang.
Yeah, yeah, like a picture.
So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or like
glasses.
this. Yeah, or glasses. Yeah. Exactly.
I'm surprised I remember that.
Well, we remember things from context rather than.
I remember. I had a dream about you and San. You were teaching, about Japanese, and you were telling me in Japanese, and I was writing it in Japanese. I think I'm losing my mind.
I agree. Yeah, I think you are.
If you're dreaming in Japanese, you're doing something right.
Yeah, exactly. Your brain's processing it. That's good.
Yeah, I was answering in Japanese. I don't know if it was correct, but I was,
If it felt correct, it probably was not. Okay, should we do some? Guys, have you got calculators? Because this isn't actually a maths class, so I want to give you some problems. I don't actually want you to spend time doing the calculation. Excellent, good, okay. If you don't have a calculator with you, then just say, and we will. I'll calculate it for you. Here we go. Have you all finished this slide?
Yep.
Piotr?
Just a second.
Yeah, sure. Okay, take your time.
I was trying to copy a few additional things. Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, and then you can, for equals, you can either use wa or you can use this stupid ikoru Japanification of equals, but wa is easier. Ikoru. All right, let's have a Jupiter. Constantina, there's a very old comedy kind of film series that used to be made in the UK called Carry On. It was like Carry On Camping and Carry On Frankenstein. And there was one episode where I think it was Carry On Doctor, and the doctor goes, it's all very kind of sexist and kind of a bit nutty.
It's very 60s free love, and
it is, yeah. And the doctor, this very good-looking nurse comes in, and the doctor says to her, "I dreamt about you last night." And she said, "Did you?" And he said, "No, you wouldn't let me."
Mutty.
Smutty, that's the word. Yeah.
Mm.
Okay, so let's start off with, guys. I'll stop recording, and I'd like you to, yeah, you got nothing to worry about. But then, Piotr, they have to do these ones down here.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Piotr-san, dozo.
Me?
Piotr-san.
25足す80は、105です。
はい、105ですね。はい。コンスタリーナさん。これはもちろん、カルキュレーターを使ってください。
184.
Thank you.
Okay, what do I have? This one. Okay. 23かける I'm using the whole verb. かける8は184です。
はい、そうですね。ソフィーさん。はい、これを。
160。
60じゃないよ。これは60じゃないよ。
I didn't understand what.
This isn't 160.
Okay. not roku. Go.
Go.
Go. Okay. 105. And 割る。
ちょっと待って。105 is 105.
10。
はい。はい、どうぞ全部お願いします。I feel like a maths teacher now. Wish I had some chalk to throw at you guys.
10。
はい。
You said 割る。26。Go.
Stupid girl.
I always have a problem with the 5 and the 6. Okay, go.
What? Hey.
We need that.
Jay, hang on a second. How many is it?
5, it's 1, 6.
はい、6。はい。おめでとうございます。I feel smug about being a maths teacher now. Wayne, this one?
はい。49割る
はい。
7は7です。
はい、そうですね。ジョーク先生、はい、これを。
200×6000 が12000です。
Good. Start writing these out now. はい、デイビッドさん、どうぞ。
20-8は、again, 12です。
そうですね。はい、12です。Just coincidence. なんですか？ピョーさん、どうぞ。なんか間違えたの
the previous one, 12000じゃないよ。
そうだね。
120万です。
先生、もう一度お願いします。
I don't have a calculator.
So let me write it out then. So it's 1220,000, right?
12万です。
はい。
No. Is it? Try again.
6,000 times 200?
Nice try, I think. No?
That's correct, isn't it?
I wish I had some chalk to throw at you.
200. It shouldn't need, it needs 5 noughts. You're right. Sorry. It should be, yeah. 1, 2. Yeah, you're right. It's this. Yeah.
Nerd.
120万。
120万ですね。はい。120万。 And then David, you got this one right. And Pascal, are you there? You hiding from the maths? Okay. Sophie, no, sorry, Constantina. This one here.
What is it? 74. Okay. Nana Juyon Hiku Juni San
Wa.
Sorry. Wa. I have no idea. Wait. Roku Juni. Yes.
Roku Juni desu. Hi, good. Hi, Sophie-san. Dozo, koreo.
Before, I said that. Gojuyon.
Hi, Gojuyon.
Waru.
Waru. Hi.
Ni. Wa.
Hi.
That is 27, I think. Niju. Nana.
Hi. Wayne. That's not that hard, actually, is it?
No, it's easy for me because Chinese is exactly the same.
Yeah.
7000かける5万は3億5000です。
3億
5000万です。
5000万ですね。はい。はい。ありがとうございます。Jock Sensei?
God.
So if you want, do you want to have this calculated because it's not?
Yes, please.
Piotr, can you look this?
Sorry, it's 4 million.
4 million. Is it? Do you know what? I don't know this counting system. No, it's not oku. It's a measurement of mans.
400万?
400万.
Is it? I don't know.
Piotr's nodding, so I think he's already done this. 400万. Awkward, isn't it?
Money.
Just shift commas. It's fine. Or period.
I hate this count. I mean, the only reason why we're doing this counting system is because I don't know it either. So what? Well, what's the oku? What's a just speaking millions and thousands. David, you might need a calculator for this one. If somebody wants to read it out for me, then I'll type it out.
Oh dear. 123,000.
18 million.
406. Hold on.
Don't pretend you're calculating it. Just do it as it's written on the screen.
No, I'm doing it as part of my uni course. I've got to do large maths. No, never mind.
Don't waste our time with that.
Okay.
Translate this number.
18 million. So that's 1 second. So that'd be man.
Good.
Juhachi man.
So this guy.
No, sorry. So that's Johnny Hacker man. Sen. Sen Hyakuman. I think.
108万でしょ
1208万
ですか
Is it?
1800万じゃないですか Okay, so it's a good idea at this point probably to just chuck these onto the screen and then we can see just a second. Then we can do a little bit of exercise on this. So we've got, it's not quite an oku.
No.
So we need to go to the next one down. So it's 10,000 would be a man. Then we've actually got 1,000 of these.
1800万
Good.
No.
1800 1800万でしょ
1800万
あ、違うな。1806、1806万。
1863万。
1806
13万。
ダメ。
それ
いや、違うんですね。
6万。
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 はい。
There's a zero there.
6万3704
704。はい。ありがとう。Okay, good. Whew, I have to do more of these. These really need. I mean, I also have difficulty with these as well. Let's do. Have you got this one as well, Piotr? Actually, next one's yours, Piotr.
Okay. So that will be 125万。
125万。はい。
That is かける8425。
8400。400
or 400?
I don't know. 425.
This is what comes out?
1, 10, 531, 250k. Okay, that's probably easier to do this than the other ones actually.
Let me shift commas a bit. So 105億
そうですね。はい。105億。
3125。
3125。
25。
あ、はい。25
万。
はい。
Wow.
Good.
Almost 2 weeks' salary.
And David, last one. This one here. Oh, sorry, Constantina. You go next. Sorry.
Okay. 60割る3
はい
は
はい
20です。
20ですね。Okay, good.
Ah, yes, I got the desk.
That's okay. Okay, good. Any questions, guys?
How much is a shinken?
5000ポンドです。I'm not going to do it again.
魂です。
何十万の間でしょ。
はい。Well, if it was 5,000 pounds would be 500,000 yen. So that would be 50万ですね。はい。
That's a good yardstick. How many shinkens can I buy?
Exactly. How much was this house? Oh, it was about 30 shinkens.
That's either very expensive shinken or very cheap.
Yeah. It's a house in Wales. Right. 終わりましょう。ありがとうございました。皆さん、お疲れ様でした。
So the next one, it's gonna be Friday.
There's one this evening.